Welcome in, everybody. I'm Sazmataz, and welcome back to my channel and Animal Crossing. So this is something I haven't done before on a stream. Like, I've done it privately for myself before I started streaming. I've done a couple of villager hunts. But I know that plenty of people stream theirs and their process and whatever. So we're gonna give this a go. So I scanned in Fauna's amiibo fairly recently. But she has to leave anyway, and considering I have her amiibo, wasn't too worried about letting her go. So here's the space where her house used to be and where our new villager is gonna live. I have a command that I've done for this so that I don't have to type out 100 times what villagers I'm looking for. I've given myself a decent list of villagers I wouldn't be... that I'd like to have if Nightbot is awake. But I think I'm gonna pin as a comment to save spamming commands and what have you. I know that people will ask anyway, and then the command is useful, but is Nightbot not awake at all? Hello? Let me check my dashboard, see what's happening. What are you doing? What is happening? Yeah, there it is. Okay, so if we pin this. Yeah, it just took a sweet hot minute. Okay, so we're gonna pin that for reference. I also have a paper copy of the list because I wrote out a really extensive list of villagers that I was there like, oh, I quite like this one and I like their house and what have you, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna narrow it down a little bit, so these are the ones that I decided I'd be fairly happy with. The only one of these villagers I've actually ever had before is Egbert, who I had as one of my autofills for the first 3 plots that you build for Tom Nook. He was actually the first villager to ask to leave out of those, and I miss him. I enjoyed him. He's a lazy yellow chicken, and although I'm not usually a fan of the chickens, I don't know, something about him was just sweet. And all of these villagers also have house exteriors that I think would be fairly in keeping with the island theme and what have you. So I've put some thought into this and narrowed it down a little bit. And let's see what we've got going on. Hi, Bobby. So let's wake Nightbot up even more and put that command in the chat as well. Hi, Salty. Oh, do I have Salty command? I don't know. I don't know if I did one. I'm sorry, Salty. I'm letting you down. Oh, just slap my microphone. Hopefully the noise filter got that, because it usually does. Okay. Well, I'm about to be slapping myself because I don't have a salty command. Terrible person. And we can make one right now. And confuse Nightbot even more. Do this one. Don't do link commands as everybody, so despite having no moderators, I set it to moderator. I don't remember what I've put for the other link commands now. Check out our friends. Caps, why you do this one, and submit that, and then that should work. And let's try and see if it works. This is where it's like you need to give me 5 minutes to actually register that you've created a command on the dashboard. There we go. Okay, so now that you have seen the amazing empty plot, we can actually finally get on with some pre-prep, which I probably should have done before I started, honestly. But I didn't, because who needs to be prepared for these things? The salty command has been made. So I'm gonna drop off these. These are just my presents that I usually give to my... Or should I give them to my villagers now? Because I haven't done it on this day. Either way, I'm gonna drop these. Because that's the thing that I don't need on me right now. Yeah. Have I done any of my dailies today? No, I haven't. Of course I haven't. Why would I have? And it's like a nice rainy day as well. Beautiful weather for all of the island visits we're going to be doing, because I'm pretty sure it's going to rain on the islands as well. Not a morning person, hey Lolly. Because in-game for me at the moment, it's 9 AM. Even though that's not the time in real life. Because who needs it to be pitch black when you're island hunting? Despite the fact it's still bright outside, in real time, in-game, it's pretty dark. So, didn't fancy that. Yeah, I forget to do my dailies when I time travel. So I was on today's real date and saw that Fauna was packing up to leave, and I was like, you know what, I thought she was leaving today, so I'm just gonna time skip. I did my dailies for the 10th, and then obviously on this day set up for everything, opened it and was like, wait a minute, I think I did my dailies today. No, I didn't. Of course I didn't. I did them yesterday in game, technically. I am confusion. Yeah, I'ma wake them up as many times as I like. Technically, the interaction of initiating the conversation with them counts as talking to your villager. As far as I've been told anyway. So... that, and when you do it, like, every day, all the time, it's a lot of dialogue to plow through, having a conversation, coming out of that set of dialogue, and then going in for a gift. Long. I also never give gifts to the villagers that have already given me photos, so although Marshall is best boy because he gave me my first photo ever, I very rarely talk to Marshall. Hi, Stitches! Do you want this? Yeah, Marshall is best boy. Because he wasn't even, like, one of my first villagers or anything. He was the first villager I'd ever scanned in via the amiibos I got. Like, so I already had, what, 6 villagers by the time I scanned him in? And yet, like, I gave them gifts and what have you and all sorts, but Marshall was still the one that gave it up first. Yeah, that's... The fact that you want Stitches is literally the only reason Stitches is on my island. So you can go hunting for Stitches, and then if and when you decide you're tired of hunting and you're like, just put me out of my misery, I just want Stitches, he's right here. It's literally the only reason he's here. Like, I give him the gifts because I wouldn't mind having his photo, but I never give him anything that is gonna stay in his house. I think the only thing he might have, if you take him off of me, are the patterns that I have in Abel's, because they can get those themselves. But that would just be a plain black t-shirt and a navy blue button down with pink flowers on it. So I don't think that's anything too offensive, personally. And I think you can actually tell Isabel that you don't like what they're wearing and those will be removed. But I'm not 100% sure. I know that those do stick around if you get them off of somebody. From personal experience. How's things going in the woodlands, Murph? His house is literally perfect for the space. Honestly. I'm so happy he turned up at the campsite. Oh no, you voided Hopper. I can't get over some of the luck that I've had with villagers that obviously people have voided that have turned up on my island. Like, I had Sherb as an autofill, and he came from Cherry Tree, from the island associated with the channel Link's Cherry Tree. And then I got Marina from, what's the island called? Villa BB, from the channel BB's World. So I have somewhat popular villagers from other content creator islands. That's a thing. Oh, wait a minute, what's this? Picture myself surrounded by shelf after shelf of books. Okay. I can't say that I feel the same way about that. This is a mood. This letter is a mood. I just wanted to say that I'm so happy I met you. I couldn't have said it in person without getting all flustered and weird. And now I'm sure all of our interactions will be 100% normal. This is a mood. Oh dear. Marina won't take a gift off of me yet, but I should still talk to her. He calls you a turnip. That's actually adorable, though. Who haven't I seen? I gave Whitney hers. Dom. Murphy. Lolly. Have I seen Sherb? I've spoken to Marina. Marshall and Raymond can, you know, just not have anything. Did I speak to Sherb? I don't remember. Yeah, straightforwardly. They're so weird. Oh yeah, and he might also turn up with this masterpiece of a jumper. I forgot I did a Christmas pudding jumper. Oh dear. I should have done the hat to go with it as well. I might still do it. Okay, this is another recipe to drop in my pool of recipes. Yeah, it's basically like... I don't know if other countries do Christmas pudding. I know it's a traditional thing here. It's like pretty old-fashioned though. A lot of people don't enjoy fruit cake, so it's essentially like a dark malt fruit cake that you have like a... Like, I put mine with an icing on top because that's how I'd prefer my fruitcake. The more sugar to mask it up, the better. But my mum prefers hers with brandy poured on it and lit on fire so that it's warm. Which is a pretty traditional way of having it, but yeah. Yeah, this is his actual house if you haven't had him as like a starter villager. Which is pretty cool. It's very blue like him, and then a little bit of purple sprinkled in there. So I think it's pretty feminine, but then Sherb's also kind of feminine in his own little way, which is perfectly fine by me. What the heck is this notification? Oh. Because I actually spoke to my villagers today. Well, that's awkward. Did I actually give him the present? No, I didn't. I didn't even actually give him the present. I'm the worst at this. This is why it takes me so long to get villager photos. Because I'm there like, oh, I spoke to you. I definitely... No, don't do that. I'm there like, I spoke to you. I definitely gave you this present. And I actually really didn't. I ought to start taking bets on which one is actually going to give me a photo next, because some of these villagers have been here for a hot minute. I came in, robbed him and ran. Oh no, don't put it like that. I'm not Dina, I swear. I swear I'm not that kind of girl. Yeah, when they ask me, I still give them this element themed catchphrases and what have you. So you still get like Aziz Light, and you get Bada Boom and Multipass, and like some of the more iconic phrases. Simple kettle. Okay. I'll drop the spare. Because that one would have been for Fauna had she not decided to leave me. She'll be back. And then here is my room of hoarding currently, which I will clean up soon enough when I figure out which seasonal items are coming in here next. Right now it's just got the little bits and pieces, and I've got the carnations and the Mother's Day mug displayed elsewhere in the house. Like, I've got the carnations up here, and I've got the Mother's Day mug on the dining room table in the kitchen. Yeah, it's supposed to be like the color scheme is like if you have like a, what is it called, a sepia filter on a photo, where it's like instead of black and white or grayscale, it's like that brown tinted, browny yellow tinted. So it's supposed to be that sort of color scheme. But it's supposed to be very homely, like actually look lived in. So this looks like it's set up for like tea for a family, and it's got like family photos and artwork on the walls. Look very lived in is the general idea. Yes, they have Father's Day items, but not at the moment. Like, you've got the Mother's Day stuff because Mother's Day just went this past weekend. But the Father's Day stuff is another date entirely, and I don't remember when that is. I don't celebrate either of them personally. So, that's a thing. There's another thing I need. I need Nook Miles tickets. So that's a thing. Oh no! I absolutely hated being called on by the teacher when I was at school. That's a hard pass from me. Like, it comes to something when I'd rather sit here and talk to a bunch of people I don't really know on the internet, where literally anybody could watch and really say anything, than talk in front of about, what, 20, 30 kids that I do know at school. Says a lot about, you know, the way school actually is. Because you know for a fact that those kids are gonna, like, if you stumble on your words, say the wrong thing by accident, which I do all of the time, they're never gonna forget. They are never gonna forget. And that's a pretty big, important part of your, like, social interactions at school. Well, yeah, I figured as much that you were not paying full attention to what was going on. But, I mean, I suppose whether I agree with that or not will depend on what the lesson is. What is the lesson? Because if this is like art class and you know the general topic and you can look at or figure out what you're supposed to be doing from somebody else, then it's not necessarily an issue, because it's got more more license. Like, I used to not pay attention in art class to what they wanted me to do. I'd draw what I wanted, and then when the teacher would ask me, how does this relate to this topic, I'd come up with some absolute rubbish. And they just let me do whatever I wanted, basically, as long as I could justify it. Oh, I've still got a ladder on me. That's okay. Get some island variety in here. I might as well take a look for some DIY bottles to add to my heap of DIYs. I guess. No bottle here today. Let's see what we got. Stinky. Seriously? How's it hanging, Underpants Cat? I should probably write these down somewhere. So I might open myself up a notepad or something. Okay. And we're gonna do that. Cool. That's a hard pass from me. Like, A, you have underpants on your head, and B, you literally walk around with your mouth open, you filthy mouth breather. That's okay, Salty. Thanks for stopping by. Storage has no food items. I have so many food items on my island, it's actually silly. I wanna fly. Use the Nook Miles ticket. In fact, do I drop the... Yeah, I think I go and drop the ladder. I think I'm just gonna drop it out here. Just to make it a little bit easier, at least to begin with. We'll just move this here for now. Do 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 do. Okay, Orville. How's it hanging, bro? I wanna fly. Let's get on that Nook Mile ticket train. Yep, time for takeoff. We should have set up a counter. That's also something I forgot to do. We are learning for next time. Although, not that I'd know how to set up a counter. But I'm sure I could have figured it out, I guess, if I had thought about it. Ooh. Hi, Francine. I heard you're famous, girl. I think I've seen you on the front of, what's the song called? Bubblegum KK? But, not for me personally. And no bottles here. I'm gonna use that to fill up the extra space. Because it's gonna bother me otherwise. Let's go. Let's go, SpaghettiOs. Let's use that Mars ticket. I don't know how you spell her name. I don't remember. I'm gonna be terrible at keeping this list. I'm sure I'll get in the rhythm of it after a few, to be fair. But until then, it's gonna be a mess. Okay. Catch some bees and chop some trees. I think I might drop off my DIYs to Jeffro, because I know he still does. Ooh, hello. Daisy. Now, the reason Daisy didn't actually make the list is because I've got her amiibo. So I don't actually have to hunt for her. Sorry, Daisy. I'm sure you'll make it to the island at some point. But today is not that day. Because she was on the original full list before I cut it down by like half. She was on there as a potential. And there were a few that I don't have amiibos for that I also removed that I wasn't 100% sure about. But, you know, I'm one of those, if I'm not sure, then it's probably a no. I wanna fly. Use that last ticket. Has anybody heard the remix of that little chime? Like when the Dow string screen comes in where it goes dun 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 dun. There's like a fan-made remix of that, which I thought was really good. I find it really impressive, the people that can listen to, like, I don't know, when you drop a pen on a table and hear that specific noise and they're like, that would be perfect if I remixed it as like the snare drum on this thing and I could distort it to make other instruments, and people are too good. I should stop travelling to April since Zipper exists. I don't mind Zipper. I don't have a Zipper horror story. Next will be a kangaroo. Let's see. No, that's definitely not a kangaroo. Do I have... I don't have a vaulting pole on me, but that's okay. Why do I not have a vaulting pole on me? Since when? Because I'm pretty sure you can go... There's a way to get to this one without it. Yeah. Where'd you go, bro? Who we got? T-Bone. Unfortunate name. Because I was thinking it was Stu, because I know there's T-Bone and Stu, both unfortunate names, because even though it's spelt as in like Stuart, I always think like beef stew. Let's hop on that. Stovetop calculator. And some of the things that he calls you concern me. Like, please do not put a calculator on your stovetop. Maybe I should go and grab a vaulting pole. Or not, I don't know. Let's... I'm gonna keep going for a little bit. And we'll see. If it becomes a... No! Don't. No. We don't open this island. This island is on lockdown, Orville. The only person allowed to come and go is me. Oh dear, we've got the awkward emoji. What's happening? Chop some treats. Let's go. Okay, let's check for the bottle on my way round. I need to go and get the vaulting pole, because this is gonna be... How do I get to you? Seriously? Can I hop somewhere here then? No. Seriously? Well, that's problematic. I thought it literally, if you don't have the things on you, I thought it didn't give you islands where you couldn't get to them. I don't think you can buy the vaulting pole from Wilbur. I think it's just fishing rod, net, and axe. As far as I'm aware anyway. Yeah, it's just the standard stuff. It's not those kinds of tools, it's breakable ones. That... Oh dear, because isn't this... Oh no. That's Weber. Weber is literally on my list. And I can't even get to them. That's upsetting. Well, if that isn't a sign that you shouldn't take somebody, I don't know what is. Oh no. Weber, I'm so sorry. We're gonna leave him. We're gonna go and get the vaulting pole for the next one. Hi, Gift. Maybe we change this. I'm gonna take out weather for now. Well, that was something. Something for sure. Okay, let's go and grab a vaulting pole. I must have one somewhere. Unless I've given it away to somebody who needed one. I have to have one somewhere. So let's put this in storage. And I can reorganize this the way I prefer it to be. Let's see what recipe we got. Boomerang, which I already have. Okay, that can go in here. And then we can go back to searching because I've literally done nothing. I've been live for what, like 45 minutes? And I've been to what, like 4 or 5 islands? 5 islands even. It's not going very swiftly. That is for certain. And I'm pretty sure that if this turns into a long one, I'm gonna lose my voice. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, Orville. Let's do this. Let's get a little bit quicker on this. Let's go. We are good. Just a little bit of a tickle in my throat. Nothing serious. I mean, I've had it for a little while, but my doctor told me it's because of some of my personal habits, and that I should probably cut down on certain things. So there's that. But other than that, perfectly fine. Jitters. I ain't even going over there. I know who this is, and I don't want to talk to them. No, not Jitters. It's the other one. For God's sake. This is the one that looks like Jitters. Jitters is the green one. What's this one called? The green one with the small eyes. They're like opposites. Jitters has like the green top and the yellow bottom, and this one's the yellow top. This Twiggy. Okay. Okay. Still a no. Twiggy, I'm sorry, you didn't make the list. We can check for the bottle though. I already know this. Okay, time to go. a go. Fly, Dodo, fly. You're not flapping those wings hard enough. Let's go. Next one is a mouse. I tell you now, if you get it right, I'll come and bring you an inventory full of bells. Because I'm usually difficult on myself, and instead of doing like species specific, I'll do like a specific villager, which is incredibly unlikely to get right. And the worst thing about that is these were both caught on stream on two separate villager hunts, one day after the other. Apple was doing a villager hunt for villagers that her moderators had picked out. So some of them had picked nice ones, some of them had picked like trolly, nasty ones that nobody wanted. And she was doing a villager hunt for that, and while she was doing that hunt, she found one of her dreamies. But it was literally the island after I'd turned around and said, what if the next one's Dobie? Are you going to take him? And then the moment she landed and saw it, she was like, this is your fault. It's your fault I have to make this decision. She took him. Everyone got a little bit annoyed, like, this is not part of the rules, Apple. But then literally the next day, Pange decided to do the same kind of stream where, you know, moderators pick... This is Renee or Rhonda? I don't remember which one, but her moderators... Rhonda. Her moderators picked villagers for her to hunt for, and she'd have to take whichever one she found first. Her moderators were much nicer. They'd given her pretty much all fairly good villagers. I think there was maybe one that Pange was like, I'm not so sure about this one, but the others were really nice villagers, so there's that difference between the two. But I came in pretty late on the hunt and was just saying hello to everybody in chat. And then we started talking about Apple getting Dobie, and Pan says, oh, I love Dobie. I go, oh my god, this is going to be another Dobie fiasco. Dobie's going to be next, and you're going to take him. And he literally was next, and she did take him. It was so silly. So silly. I'm the Dobie Whisperer. Well, I don't think I've ever actually seen Dobie on a hunt, so Dobie may be one of the villagers in my move-in queue. Like, I wasn't surprised when Marina autofilled. I was pretty confident that she was in my move-in queue. Because the thing with the octopuses are you are more likely to find them on islands, and I didn't have any of them on my island. And I'd find loads of them. I found Zucker so many times in the hundreds of tickets that I'd used, but I'd never once found Marina. So I was pretty confident that she was in my moving queue. So when she turned up on an autofill, I wasn't too surprised. It made sense. Ooh. I think Sky is the one that I prefer of the two. There's the blue one with the same patterning, so it's like blue where the pink is. think her name's Sky. I think she's the one that I prefer out of the two. But Freya's pretty cute still. But she's not on the list. But it's nice to see. Let's go. And I've never reset the cache data for my Switch. So this hunt is including all of the cache data for all of the previous hunts and everything as well. So that does affect it slightly. Apparently. I don't fully understand how that affects it, but apparently it's a thing. I don't know if it takes into consideration villages that you've had or you've seen. Not a clue how it affects it, but there are a lot of people that say that it does. Well, we have a squirrel. I think, is this mint? Oh no, it's Nibbles. Literally called it bang on. That's ridiculous. The likelihood of you choosing a villager and it actually being that villager is so slim, it's ridiculous. Okay, I can't really argue with that. I guess I've got to go and drop off some bells at some point. And I actually have a Bob command, but the Bob command is only for... can only be used by Alice, Potato, and myself. Because it's just a silly in-joke thing. You said you wanted Barb and the next day you got Barb. That is awesome. I was talking to Jelly earlier while she was streaming. I was chilling in her chat telling her how the RNG on Animal Crossing has been very good to me. Like Raymond in 3 tickets, the Marina autofill, the Sherb autofill. Like, the villagers asking to move out tend to be the ones that I scan in on Amiibo, so I don't mind moving them out and hunting for somebody. Elma the horse. I think that's such a tragic name for a horse. Like, it's such a grim name for a horse. Elma, seriously? Because obviously, like, Elma as in, like, Elmer's glue. Like, I know it's mainly a US brand more than anything, but I do know it's internationally sold and shipped. But those kinds of glues used to be made from horse hoofs after horses were slaughtered for meat in other countries and what have you, or passed away. They were made out of horse hoofs. So, that's a thing. So he's basically labelled as future glue. Like, obviously, they no longer make their glue that way. Just to put that out there, I'm not absolutely scandalizing Elmer's glue. But that's how it used to be. So we got Bam. Bam's okay, but not quite what I'm looking for. On lunch break. For me, it's 8 o'clock. So definitely not lunch break. Although I didn't have breakfast today. I did have lunch. I had onion and mushroom egg fried rice with curry seasoning. I think that's the best way I can describe it. I wanna fly. That also reminds me, I owe Apple 2 million bells for the last time we did bells or no bells, and I was stoking the chaos with money. But obviously, because I've had time off and I stepped away from the game, I never paid her for that. But I should get around to doing that at some point. I usually have breakfast. Don't get me wrong, I'm lazy as heck in the mornings. I'm not generally a morning person. It takes me a hot minute to wake up. I need coffee, and I need people to leave me alone until I finish that coffee. But usually I'll go for something super lazy. So this is Spike. Yeah, Spike. Spike's kind of cool. But he's not on the list. I should be... you know what? I'm not even gonna look... Do I look for the... Yeah, I've got to look for the DIY bottles. If I'm gonna donate them to the cause, I got to at least look for them. At least have a quick look for them. Let's go. That marshmallow is like 4 times on fire. Honestly, this is a hot take, and I don't even eat what most people would consider normal marshmallows anymore because they contain gelatin, and I eat halal, which means that a lot of the times those gelatines are not something I'm able to consume unless they're certified halal, which you can get, but it's not very often. So I haven't had marshmallows in such a long time. But when I did used to eat marshmallows when I was younger, and we did like campfire and toasting marshmallows, I used to burn mine on purpose and eat them that way because I think they taste better like that. Who doesn't like a good crispy gooey marshmallow? That's my marshmallow hot take. Although I think honestly probably the most I don't know what you call it, controversial part of that statement is the fact that I eat halal and not the fact that I like burnt marshmallows. Is this the other one? Because we've had Francine. Is this Chrissy? Yeah, okay. So here's our other bubblegum girl. She didn't make the list. But it's nice to see that we've got a full set. We've had both of our bubblegum girls. I know there was somebody who's a regular in one of the chats who was looking for Chrissy and Francine because their favourite Animal Crossing song is Bubblegum KK. That's your guess. Is that because you want the bells? Literally had to just double check that I had to lean over and double check that I locked the door when I took the bin out earlier. I don't know why I wouldn't have, because I always lock the door, but you know, never hurt to double check. I don't need somebody like potentially creeping up behind me because I left the door open. Not that I think that that's gonna happen, but I don't like the idea of it, and that's enough. Phil the ostrich. I've never made s'mores. I feel like s'mores is a very US thing. Like a very American thing, at the very least. If not specifically US, it's at least a fairly American thing. Because even, like, I used to go camping as a kid all the time and what have you. Oh, this is Sly, yeah? Yeah. We used to go camping as a kid all the time. Never once did we make s'mores. We did toast marshmallows, but we never made s'mores. Okay, and no bottle. This is Money Rock Island though, but I don't need the money, so we're leaving without it. Yep, let's go. Like to fly, fly away. Oh no, yeah, don't get me wrong, I get plenty of mosquitoes where I live. I think the ones we get here are, what are they called? I think they're called African mosquitoes, oddly enough, despite the fact that they're not like an invasive species or anything as far as I'm aware. They've been here for as long as I've lived here anyway. But because I live not far from a park / wildlife area where they have a pretty lazy like stream river thing going on, there are a heck of a lot of mosquitoes. And because it's like basically across the road and we've got some real high power, like blinding street lamps in the area where I live, because it's fairly recently built. They've got more modern street lamps than the other ones that are kind of yellow tinged and what have you. So the mosquitoes absolutely love them. So if it's like sunset kind of time and you don't close your windows, your house will be infested and you will be a sack of itch for days. You will have hives for sure. Octavian. As if I haven't met Octavian enough. Like, the type of mosquitoes we get here, it's not just like a little itchy red bump, like these things give you hives. Big time. There was one time where I'd been bitten a couple of times on the same leg, and basically a good 4 or 5 inches of my leg was just pure raised red nasty. I was like, oh god, I've had a reaction to something. I didn't even realise I'd been bitten, honestly. I literally went for a walk in the park during the day, but because I'd got like leggings on, I think it must have landed on my leggings and been able to bite through them essentially. So that's a thing. I already had chocolate today. I had a Snickers because you're not you when you're hungry. Time for takeoff. And funny enough, we were talking about mosquito bites, and Octavian literally looks like a mosquito bite, honestly. He's just a big red lump. A big angry red lump. Candy the mouse. Oh my god, I hope it's not Candy the mouse. Candy is terrifying. She also looks like she's been the victim of mosquito bites, one on each side of the face. Her cheeks are concerning. And we have Rocket! You know what, there's not really much point in talking to Rocket. We all know who Rocket is. And that's a solid no from me. Dina the duck, please. No. Honestly, I'd consider taking Dina just for the meme at this point. But it depends on how long this goes on. Like, if I'm here for a while and then I find Dina, I'd probably just be like, okay, I give up, but I'll take Dina for the memes. Okay, so that was Bubby's last best guess before bed. Wow, it's 9:30 where you are, and I guess you've got work early in the morning, so that's fair enough. Good night, take care, see ya next time. I suppose I should probably also drop the link now. You know, the poignant moments when you arrive and when you leave. Those are a thing. Which I'm also terrible at doing. Honestly. I wanna fly. I don't know why. Now that I sang that in that rhythm, that's just gonna be a thing now. It's like the whole lurky turkey thing with Jack, and I was there like, the phrase lurky turkey reminds me of the song rhythm, and every time I see somebody say that, you know, they're lurking, and I saw his command of the doing the lurky turkey, it just made me think of the song rhythm. Don't remember what's the song from. Don't remember the name of the band, but dude looks like a lady, so it'd be do the lucky turkey. And I was like, why is my brain like this? It's upsetting. It's hilarious, but upsetting at the same time. Yeah, I know you haven't been feeling particularly well, so hopefully the rest will help with that, if nothing else. Then again, I don't eat... Well, I suppose if you've been tested and made sure that it's not the Rona, then you can still go to work with a cough, even though everybody will probably look at you like you've grown a second head. So this is Tammy. So I'm guessing she's supposed to be like a lemur situation with the striped tail, which is pretty cool, but then she's also got the most terrifying face, so that's a hard pass from me. I also used to have coon tails, which is what that tail reminds me of, oddly enough. Because when I was in school, like, I had red hair for like 6 years as an adult, because like that's the colour I wanted my hair. But the first time I dyed it red, it was 6 weeks holidays. My mum let me dye it red, so I did. And then when we went back to school, they turned around and said, it's not a natural enough colour. It's too unrealistic, so you have to dye it. The problem is, covering red with anything is problematic. So I ended up with black hair, and then what I decided to do to spite the school is underneath a good chunk of my hair that was on top, so if you get like an undercut or something, those kinds of areas, I had coon tails, which is essentially when you take a bit of the hair and I bleached it in stripes. So I had black hair and it had got like these bleached stripes underneath. It was a tragic time in my life, to say the least. But you know, you gotta try these things, and you're better off doing it when you're young. Because when you're older, like, you've got jobs and things to be concerned about. Because despite the fact it doesn't stop you from doing your job in any way, there are a lot of places that consider those kinds of things unprofessional. Like, despite the fact that I serve thousands of people a day sometimes in the job that I work in, they would never tell me not to do that. I could turn up with rainbow mess hair that looked like, I don't know, one of, you know those Play-Doh machines that you get where you push it down and the hair like squirts out the top? If I had thrown every colour of Play-Doh into that and then squished it down, if my hair looked like that, they'd still be like, that's fine. Kevin Bacon. Hi Cookies, welcome in. Which is funny, because often when they're deciding which event which person is going for, I feel like I often get the more formal events. Like, there are certain unwritten rules for certain events. So there were a couple of times where I worked at the Comic-Con in the area where I currently am. And there were men and boys working alongside us. And I think they decided after a certain point, after a certain number of complaints from female customers and what have you about being stared at and about comments being made about their outfits and what have you that made them uncomfortable, I think they decided that they should no longer let men participate in that specific event, just to avoid any future incident. I get that that's incredibly sexist to say, like, look, in this particular area, men can't do this job, which they 100% can. They can do the job. It's just a matter of like, look, you've got to do what you can to make your customers comfortable. And because of some of the outfits that these girls come in, like, they've got some stuff on show that I'm sure they're aware is going to be looked at. But in a professional setting, staring at those kinds of things is definitely questionable. Gruff. Gruff is not it. Gruff looks ill. Also, kind of looks like what's his name from the British version of Shameless? I don't remember his name, but yeah. He basically looks like he's a can of beer and a cigarette away from a Shameless actor. Yep, let's go. Oh, I didn't press the button enough times apparently, so I said let's go before the screen even rolled up. I actually looked up these pair because somebody said there's some brilliant fan art of them, of Orville and Wilbur, and there is. But there's also some kind of thirsty fan art out there of Orville and Wilbur. Like, I'd describe their aesthetics as like the Dodo Airlines equivalent of Sam and Dean from Supernatural. So Wilbur is definitely Dean. He's got more of the rough, rugged, bad boy kind of vibe going on, whereas Orville has got more the cute, fresh-faced kind of thing going. But yeah, there's a thing. Ricky. I mean, I don't hate the eyebrows, Ricky, because I also feel your pain, although I did pluck mine today. I also feel the pain of eyebrows that meet in the middle, but yours actually suits you. It's the mouth that concerns me more. To be fair, I don't hate on the eyebrows. Somebody's got like monobrow, unibrow, whatever it's called, and they're pulling it off and making it work for them. More power to you. Why can I hear tapping? 1 second. I need to check on something. Okay. No drama, nothing of interest going on. Don't know what was tapping. Something I probably moved earlier, must have fallen over or something, and I can't see what it was. Never mind. I'm sure I'll figure it out later, and if not, it might have been, I don't know, the heater clicking on and off or something. Who knows? Scary. I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like, I guess you could call it paranoid, but it's warranted paranoia when something taps or bangs or what have you here for me to double check that there's nothing afoot. Because I mean, the reality of the situation is, especially since the Rona and the pandemic and all of that sort of stuff, the area is really bad. Like, it was never great, but it's definitely gotten worse. And I think that's because, like, the police are kind of distracted with trying to make sure people are doing what they should do and dealing with all of those things on top of the things that they would usually do. Ursula. I think Ursula may have been a part of the original list, but she didn't make it to the finished list. Maybe. Or maybe it was a different bear. I don't know anymore. But, basically it's gotten to the point where there are some questionable things that have gone on here over the time that people have been in lockdown and quarantine and what have you. And, you know, one of those things includes literal group of armed men that broke into the apartment directly downstairs from me. And I was in my house, I was in my apartment at the time that it happened. And when they knocked on their back door, when I thought, oh, I don't think that they're in, because I hadn't heard them at all for the day or anything. I didn't think they were in. And somebody was absolutely slamming on the back door, and I looked out of the window and saw them. So I've always got the concern of, I've seen these people's faces. And clearly there is something going on. Like, I know the guy that lives down there is involved in some questionable things. It's an apartment building. He's involved in some questionable things, and I know this because of the people that come and go from the building at all times of the day. Some of the conversations I overhear in the hall and what have you, or some of the arguments that I had down there that you can literally hear. That, and also the fact that there was a notice left to say that he's in prison currently. Only for a couple of months, but it explains why it's been quiet. But literally he's not even here at the moment and hasn't been for the last month, which is a godsend to me because it's been a little more peaceful. And I say a little more because even the other day, 2 people decided to force the front door open to come and check to see if he was here, because they rang the intercom, nobody answered, So they forced the front door open to ring the doorbell on the interior, knock on the door and what have you. Saw the notices, took them down and stuffed them in his postbox. So that's a thing. So, you know, still not entirely safe, especially when the front door has been broken the entire time. So we've already had Rosie. I've got Rosie's photo and all of that, so we don't need to worry about Rosie. Hi, Jeffro. It has been a little while. I took about, what, 3 weeks to a month off from streaming. Did I check the beach? I don't even know. You know when you absent-mindedly do things while you're talking and you're not entirely sure? So that's Rosie. I would like to head home. I also have to do this. Jeffrey. Also, like I said, like I live not far from a park, so there are a couple of times where I've heard like a dog absolutely howling outside. And I've looked out the window to see what on earth is going on, and it's literally a dog on its own that's run off at the park. And I've literally run out of my house and grabbed this dog and walked back to the park to be like, we're gonna find your owner, buddy, don't worry about it. Because there's like so many main roads here. There is no way I'm just leaving that dog there. Not a chance. Not happening. I'd sooner have it bite my face clean off than be hit by a car, honestly. I think all of my neighbours are very aware that I'm also incredibly nosy. If they want to make a lot of noise outside, I'll be watching out of the window. Yeah, Baby Mouse's fave is Rosie, I believe. Or is it Mary? One of the two. It's one of the cute cats. Is this Vic? Vic. Not the vibe. Nope. Not today, Vic. Not any other day, honestly. Don't want to get your hopes up on that one. Maybe if I do like a medieval themed island at some point, then you can come. But until that day, no. Just no. Because I could have like Vic, Nox, Sterling. There are a couple of the ones that have got like a little bit of a medieval vibe going on with the armor and tunics, and could build myself like a castle thing and have a moat around it. Like, it'd be a nice idea. But it's not what we're doing right now. Use a Nookmore ticket. Use my voice so little at the moment that doing this is taking its toll. A kid just sneezed without a mask. I'ma get sick. I mean, I understand the concern, especially at the moment, but the reality is that sneeze is just as likely to be that the kids got a cold, or that, I don't know, they're an allergic reaction, like a seasonal thing because it's springtime. Like, there's plenty of pollen going on, hay fever or something. Or that there's, depending on where you are, some dust that's given the nose a tickle. You know, there are plenty of reasons people sneeze, and not all of them are COVID related. Honestly, one of the main reasons I don't like going to the shops and things like that at the moment is purely because if I cough or sneeze, which I do a lot because I get a lot of sinus problems and all sorts, everybody treats me like I have got the plague. Ooh, this is the anti-air that Bobby was talking about earlier. Cyrano? Cyrano? I don't know how you say that. We're just... no. We'll just take out the part that I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce, so you're just Rano, and I'm gonna run because that's a no from me. Do, 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 do. I wanna fly away. I could probably make like a really bad parody version of that song for Animal Crossing for this situation. That is the kind of thing I would do. I love Wolfgang so much it hurts. Love the name. Who knows about my secret Wolfgang obsession? What? How could you not have an obsession with Wolfgang? I heard that he has ticklish toe beans. Welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're well today. True. I've been spreading the word about Wolfgang and his ticklish toe beans. And potentially the fact that other villagers may also have ticklish toe beans. Rusco. Rusco's pretty cool. But Roscoe is not on the list. Wolfgang amiibo cards. Well, the thing is with the way technology works nowadays, unless you specifically go into your settings for everything and don't allow them to pay attention to things that you input or things that you search on other things and what have you, then they're gonna know the kind of things that you potentially enjoy and show you more of those things. So if you looked up Wolfgang on a different website, and then you're looking up something somewhere else and on a different website, it might show you an advertisement for Wolfgang amiibos, because that's the way technology works nowadays. And it is a little bit creepy when you think about it. That, like, all of your, well, not all of your apps, but quite a few of your apps are sort of looking at one another to see what you're into to better advertise to you. And a lot of the apps that do that, a lot of the time will give you the option of if you want personalized ads or not. But, I don't know. I think most people just are like, yeah, whatever, and don't give much thought to it. It's very much like reading the terms and service on something. It's like a long, well, the notification itself isn't long-winded, but it's just another hurdle to jump over to get to what you want to do. All caps. Oh yeah, because of the rules. Don't post in all caps. I mean, that's more not so much a warning not to use caps at all. It's just, well, I've got my filters set on Nightbot so that it will remove comments that are a certain amount of caps. Like, you could post a comment, a chat that is all caps as long as it's under a certain number of characters. And if I think that it's angrily directed at somebody, I may remove it. It's just, I don't know, some people see it as being a little bit aggro. And I don't want anybody to get upset, so I get that they're also used for excitement and things like that, but it's just a little bit of something to make sure people aren't thinking, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna scream everything. Marcel, I'm afraid, buddy, you are not on the list. But I don't actually hate you. He's got like that mime look going on, but I'm here for it. Run away. Let's go. Oh no, yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. What if I get Wolfgang? I think the only thing that let Wolfgang down when I was considering him as part of my list was his house exterior. Because his house exterior is also blue, and I don't want that. If there was a way for me to customize his house exterior, I would. I'd take Wolfgang. No. I'm clicking the wrong things. What am I doing? We're doing a villager hunt. I want to fly. Crimson 50% Icelandic. Wow. That's like my friend's family when somebody's angry. It's like scream in 50% English and 50% Punjabi. And technically speaking, they're not even like... Punjabi isn't even their native language. Their native language would be more like Urdu. So they literally use Punjabi because it's a more aggressive sounding language. Literally, it's more emotive than... Urdu is more of a... I don't know how you put it. Trying to find the word. It's more formal. There we go. I think this is Flora. Urdu is a lot more formal. beautiful day, but today just feels lazy. Honestly, you can still appreciate a beautiful day in a lazy way. You could literally just sit and look out of the window with a cup of tea and do nothing. In South Asia buses that spoke like 7 languages. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, my best friend and ex-partner, which is a complicated relationship, but we make it work. He is from, well, his family is originally from Pakistan before they migrated over here. Him and his brother and sisters are born here, but he speaks like 7 to 9 languages fairly fluently. Like, obviously, I'd consider English would be his native language, and then there would be Hindi, Punjabi, Urdu, Arabic, and a couple of others as well. Like, absolutely wild to me. Because, I mean, growing up in England, it's pretty much you learn English and then at school you may learn French, German, Spanish, Italian are generally the go-to ones for what you'd learn in school. European languages, obviously, as we were part of the EU until more recently, kind of makes sense. But I don't know. There are very few people I know that live here that have more than one fluent language. And although I don't understand those languages that they spoke in their house, like, I couldn't speak them to you. Like, I might know the odd word and what have you. Okay, so we've got violet. I might know the odd word and what have you, but from the words that I do know and from the tone, I could sort of get a vague feeling and figure out what their conversations were about. So I could understand their conversations enough from a couple of words and context. But I could never, like, speak their own language back to them. And it did come in handy a couple of times, being able to understand it well enough to know what was being said, because there were times where the family would be there and there would be a family member who speaks very little English, and obviously you don't want to be rude and you don't want to leave them out, so you know, you gotta at least figure out a way to try and communicate with them. Put in that little bit of effort. Or there was I wouldn't say a one-time thing, but there was a time in the house where there was a group of the older men in the family that were sat around having a conversation, and they were having this conversation about me. No, I don't mind if they want to sit there and have a discussion about it. Like, I'm somebody coming into their family and into their home, in a sense. That's fine if they want to sit there and discuss it. And if they want to discuss it privately without me knowing, that's fine. Even if that's in another language while I'm right there, fine. My only problem with the conversation that they were having is how they referred to me in their language. And they referred to me as essentially white girl. which I couldn't help but make a point of. And now, I know that in their culture it is terrible to call out those who are older than you, regardless of gender or any of that. If they're older than you, you respect your elders, and it's a sign of disrespect to call them out. But I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself. I had to point out the absolute hypocrisy of the fact that they were... Well, A, they were being rude in the first place, honestly, but I don't mind, you know, everybody does things differently. Whatever, but just the fact that they couldn't give me enough respect to use my name or refer to me in a way that is, I don't know, she or they would have done just fine. Using pronouns would have done just fine. But no, they had to go for... Ooh, drift. They had to go for the colour aspect. And I kind of expected better from them, honestly. I expected better from people who have probably had to deal with things like that all of their life. To deal with people referring to them as their colour before who they are and not giving them that level of respect. I expected them to understand better what that is, because, I mean, I feel as if I should probably... I don't know. It was odd. It opened my eyes to how it probably feels for them, and it gave me an experience that I'd never had before. But I had to point out the hypocrisy, and I did it in the worst way. Don't get me wrong. I did it in the worst way, because I went for pure shock factor by going in and doing my pleasantry greeting and then turning around and saying, like, look, guys, I understand enough of what you're saying to know that you're talking about me. And the only thing that I have an issue with here is the fact that you call me white girl. So here's how it's gonna go. If I don't call you brown boy, you don't call me white girl. Deal? Deal. Which is a terrible way to go about it. But at no point am I gonna think that it is acceptable to refer to them as such. I made that example purely to get the point across in as simple a way as possible, to give them the shock of, oh, yeah, we should probably know better. Probably could have handled it better, but, you know, sometimes things are a little bit emotionally charged, especially when you expect better of somebody. Tots are underrated. Are you on about, like, tater tots? Potato tots? It's another Octavian. This doesn't have to be a serious conversation. It depends on how you see it. I get that, obviously, like, racism and prejudice as a whole is somewhat of a serious conversation, and I get that I'm breaking my own rules of no discussing controversial topics, but then I also expressed recently that I want to be able to say more of what I think and feel on these streams and have those conversations, as long as they're not As long as they're not argumentative, as long as it's not gonna cause somebody in the chat to be like, Sarah, that's not the same as being racist because you're white. As long as it's not gonna trigger that. Which is not my point at all. I'm not at all saying it is the same. I understand my privilege in the fact that I don't have to deal with that every day. But I did have a sneak peek into what it feels like to deal with those things. Like, what it felt like for this lad as my partner to come here where I live in a white-dominated area. And him get looked at by the neighbours is the same way I felt going to where he lives in his area, which is an Asian-dominated area. And it was the same reaction, getting absolutely stared at and questioned. And the reality of the situation is he was terrified to meet my parents and was concerned that they wouldn't be understanding because my parents are much older and are fairly traditional. Whereas when he met my parents, my mum was very much of the, if you're happy, I'm happy, which is the way she's always been. Always been kind of chill. My dad's a bit of a harder one, but then I also am not too fussed on my dad's opinions, so that doesn't matter. It was actually his family that was more problematic and less understanding, and that was an eye-opener to him. So there was definitely like a learning experience there for sure. And I'm sure at some point, if and when he's finished with work and running his errands, he'll probably stop by in the chat or something at some point. If not, he'll probably call me later and be like, Sarah, why are you talking about me? But I'm sure he's not going to be mad. I'm not naming and shaming him. I'm not calling him out. He hasn't done anything wrong. Nate's eyebrows are something else. Other than that, he's pretty cute actually. But Nate is not on the list. So off we pop. Boopy's Toby. Tickle them to wake them up in the morning. That's actually adorable. Honestly, Nerf Mitts had a giggle at me the other day when I said something along those lines of when somebody was on about the likes on his stream, and he was there like, no, don't worry about that. Let's not talk about it. Like he's gonna sit there and turn around and go, please don't like my video. And like, I get that people feel uncomfortable pushing it or bringing attention to it or what have you, but I don't think it should be a point of shame to be like, hey guys, drop a like on the stream or on the video or whatever. Like that's a part of the territory, as it were, a part of being a content creator and a streamer. But when they were having this conversation, I decided to do his job for him and turn around and threaten his chat by saying, look guys, if you don't like this stream, I'm a come over to your island and I'm gonna tickle all of your villagers' toe beans. And he was like, Sarah, what is happening here? I appreciate the thought behind this, but what on earth? Nerfmitz doesn't really seem to get along with me. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. Nerf is a sweetheart, and I'm well, I'd say I'm sure. I can't be 100% sure because everybody is different. And something might have happened that I'm unaware of. But I'm pretty sure that there isn't a legitimate issue there as far as I'm aware. Like, there's always those moments of when you're fairly new to a stream and you stop by a few times, especially if you're somebody that changes your account name pretty often. It's like, I know that I've seen you before. I know who you are, especially from the way that you're talking and the things that you're talking about. But I'm pretty sure that your account name has changed a few times, and it may just not have occurred to Nerf that you are somebody who has regularly been in and out of their chat. It might just be that. Oh, we'll colour them purple. Like, I'd like to think that it's nothing more than a simple misunderstanding. Can you tell me more? Tell me more, tell me more. It's the only villager that needs tickles. No, I mean, that's not true. I think I'm gonna stand up against you for this one for villager equality. If any villager wants tickles, they should be able to get tickles. It shouldn't be something reserved for just one villager. 30-paragraph comment on a video. Wow. To be fair, especially recently, I've written some incredibly long ranty comments on some videos. Some videos very much outside of the kind of content that I personally create, but that include some things that I have concerns and passions about, I guess. I have opinions on. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. Cobb is not coming home with us today. Like, I don't think my subscriptions or what I watch is public. I'm pretty sure it's privated. But I watch like all sorts of different things, and recently I've been watching the channel Mama Dr. Jones, which is like a women's health kind of thing more than anything. So she's an OBGYN, so she's a women's health professional for, you know, lady problems and things like that, and myth-busting things and stuff like that. But there are a couple of times where I have taken to her comments in support of things that she's had to say on certain matters, because there does come a point where you get a little bit tired of women's lack of understanding of their own business, their own bodies and what have you. Like, if women don't know those things about their own bodies, I am worried because they're only gonna do themselves harm if they don't understand how it works, why it works, and how to look after it. Like, there's a lot of room for mistake there that concerns me. And I don't blame them. I think it's not something most people are comfortable having conversations about. So it might be that your school did not teach you well enough about these things. They might have just stuck to the bare minimum of like look, this is how this is how a baby is made, and this is what this organ is for, and this is what that organ is for, and that's literally what it is. It might be that that's all they've ever taught, and their parents have never had a conversation with them. Like a mother has never spoken to her daughter about how to deal with certain things. That upsets me. That bothers me. The fact that I've had to, in my lifetime, educate a few women, even women older than me on occasion, that have turned around and said that they're having an issue. And I've had to turn around and be like, well, do you do this? And they either go yes or no, and then you have to explain to them why they should or shouldn't do those things, and they're completely blissfully unaware of the fact that there are some things that you should do and some things that you shouldn't do. And that concerns me, because if somebody doesn't tell them and doesn't guide them through those things, they're not necessarily gonna go to a doctor for something mild that they consider to be fairly normal, that they think everybody deals with, or that they've had since they were possibly a teenager and just think is the way that it is. But the reality is that if they then have a conversation with their daughter in future, they're passing on those things, and it just becomes, this is what you do, when not necessarily the case. Okay, so Lionel. Lionel's a good looking dude, but he's not the one for today. What I do need is a drink. I think. I just get like mad to the point of tears when someone doesn't know that I'm Wolfgang's biggest fan. 100% aware that you most definitely are Wolfgang's biggest fan. Okay, I think I'm gonna hijack attack. You've come in at just the right moment for me to take a quick bathroom break and make myself a drink so I'm staying hydrated and I don't lose my voice. I'm sure, yep, shortly ago Nightbot was doing the health check. Stay hydrated, check your posture, you know, have a little stretch, stand up, stretch your legs, make sure you're not sat there for too long. So I'm gonna take a quick check to sort myself out, and I will be back in just a minute. While I'm doing that, I am gonna leave you with some music, of course. Okay, and we're back. And also realising I didn't mute my microphone when we were gone, so I hope you enjoyed whatever of the noises that actually came through there. Although I think my noise filter should have taken most of it out. I'm sure we'll find out, at least in the aftermath of me walking around humming the airport music while I'm making my drink. Hi Aoife, welcome in. How are you today? Use that Nookmars ticket. I'll tell you what I need to get the next time I do shopping. I need to get lemons and ginger. Because with the way my throat has been feeling, I need to make me some tea. Some tea. Oh yeah, I forgot to re-pin the thing after the whoopsie for the list. Wake up, Nightbot. Where you at? Where you at? There it is. I've got myself a considerable list, and yet we've still been here for a hot minute. Did that work? Oh, yeah. Yes, it did. Let's go. How you doing, Jack? I hope you're well. Okay. No bottle over here. Let's see. We've got a tiger, so definitely not somebody that we want. Rowan. Doing good. Rowan. I'm sorry, but you did not make the hunt list, unfortunately. I'm doing pretty well. You are hunting for Wolfgang, not O'Hare. No, I like O'Hare. O'Hare was actually my first smug villager, I think. I think he was the one that I got in the campsite the first. Maybe. I don't know. It was... Yeah, I think he was. But then, very shortly after, he asked to leave. So I was there like, sure, why not? And now I'm there like, now that I'm switching villages around a little more often, I'm there like, I didn't really give O'Hare a chance, and he's pretty cute, so, let's see. I suppose cute is the wrong word. I don't know what the right word for it would be. Because, I mean, cute and sweet and all of those things, although true, are a little bit on the patronising side. Because it's like, if you care for something, if you love something or somebody, you don't want somebody to constantly turn around and be like, oh, that's cute, because it's a little bit patronising. So I can understand why you're questioning why everybody calls it cute. I don't know what... I'm sure there is a word for what I'm thinking of, but off the top of my head, I could not tell you what it is. I mean, wholesome would definitely cover at least part of it. What I mean by it is that it's nice to see somebody so enthusiastic about something or someone, you know, take so much care and interest in something. Too pure to describe. Oh, this is Biff. You are Biff, yeah? Biff. You are not coming home with me today, Biff. Woohoo! I love the way I'll make the Mario references and yet do not play any Mario games. I was actually considering getting the Mario Party on the Switch. I know that Bubby wanted to do a potential stream of Mario Party. It's a game that I've played with friends before that I enjoyed. But I think we'd need to get a couple more people interested. And I know that Apple also wanted to do a Mario Party stream. But I'm pretty sure she's got more than enough people interested in playing with her. Although I'm pretty sure if I turned around and said, do you want to do Mario Party sometime? She'd be like, heck yeah. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't mind. But, the time difference would be the concern there. I'm trying to be a little bit better at when I sleep. Trying being the key word there, because that does not necessarily mean succeeding. This is Wolfgang, and he is a baby. He is baby. Actually, I don't know who my favourite villager is. I, as a person, don't think I can rightfully make that decision without having dealt with all of them for a fair period of time. For all I know, I could invite Beardo or something over and be like, actually, I kind of like Beardo. He's my favourite, for all I know. I'd really enjoy his combination of weirdness. Deirdre was on the list originally. She didn't quite make the list. She didn't make the cut. Oh dear, Deirdre. What are we gonna do with you? Tickle spot is Beans. I actually have beans. Not toe beans, but actual beans drawn on my Animal Crossing board. By the artiste previously known as Simple Jack. Time for takeoff. I know you meant the toe beans, but it just reminded me. I think the only thing that I've actually drawn on somebody's pawn is a pile of poo. Which makes me a terrible, terrible person. other than my own board, for Halloween, because I wanted the Nook Mars achievement, I drew a witch on my own board. But on Bobby's board, he goes, "But Sarah, you're so good at drawing, like it's gonna be amazing." So I decided to draw something silly and quick because there were other people on the island at the time. And I didn't want the island to crash or what have you because I was sat there drawing, so I just drew something quick and I couldn't think of anything. So he got a poop emoji without the face, some smell lines and some flies. That's, yeah. All in good fun, obviously. All in good fun. I'm ready to go home. I know plenty of people with ticklish toe beans. Or that are just generally ticklish. And those people tend to absolutely hate me because I'm not really ticklish. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm funny about being touched in general, but not to the point of I'm gonna uncontrollably spasm and laugh. More of a, this makes me uncomfortable, and that's it. So if I'm comfortable with somebody and they want to try and tickle me, it's a matter of like, I'll just be sat there like, what are you doing? Don't understand. I'm just a person that doesn't like to be touched. Like, I'm not even like a hugger or something. If somebody's a hugger and that's how they say like hello and goodbye and something, then I'm like, I'll sort of scoff it and deal with it to a certain extent. But it's not my favourite. And it does a little bit jade my opinion of you. Because if you hold out your arms for a hug for somebody, if you're like a friend of a friend or a family member saying hello that you've never met before or something, like that's a little uncomfortable and a little closer than I necessarily want you. But I don't know how to say no. Without it seeming kind of rude. Because if they then go, oh, why not? And I'm there like, oh, I don't want you to touch me. That sounds kind of like I'm making a serious judgment about them. Rooney, like Wayne Rooney, like the footballer. But you've got red hands. You look more like a boxer than. Is there a boxer called Rooney? Because he looks kind of like he's got the gloves on. I don't know, there could be. Especially if it's a kangaroo. I'm gonna need to leave one of my my earbuds out, man. I keep hearing tapping and I really don't know where it's coming from. I live on a second floor, so if somebody's like throwing stuff at my window, I'm gonna be annoyed. Especially because it's like nearly 10 o'clock and only one of my windows is actually currently like got the curtains open. I already closed them preemptively. Use Nook Monster. Time to take off. I mean, I've used, what, about nearly 30 tickets now? 40 tickets now. Because I had a full line of tickets in the beginning. Unless I accidentally dropped some somewhere. I highly doubt that. Let's see what some of these are. I've got trophy case, cardboard bed, probably, yeah. I've already got pitfall seed, but I'm sure there'll be somebody that wants that. Shell table, bird bath. Ooh. Hook? Yes, hook. Now this is a struggle to let go. Because when I first bought Animal Crossing, what I really wanted, which is what I wanted in the previous Animal Crossing games that I had for like the DS and what have you, was I wanted my nice new island on New Horizons to be entirely populated by penguins. And at some point I will do that. I will achieve my childhood dreams. And this is gonna break my heart to do, because I only have one penguin on my list today. But gotta let Puck go. Because, you know, gotta do that aesthetic current vibe, and then I'll do maybe some other island designs afterwards. And in fact, I think the next time I decide that I'm finished with the island and that I'm gonna start over, I'm gonna reset so that this dream address is saved and I can just have like a list of here are my dream addresses for various islands. Probably all gonna be called the same thing. But all with different themes. And one of them will most definitely be Penguin Island. Just leave it as like a winter wonderland. I am pretty certain that nothing I could say is gonna change your mind. So there's that. But also I don't feel the need to change your mind even if I believed otherwise. Because as far as I know, from things that I've heard, Wolfgang is indeed the most ticklish of all villagers. Because I have literally never heard otherwise, therefore it must be the most true fact that I have heard of ticklish villagers, for certain. Never heard any counterclaims. Pate, another animal with an absolutely tragic name. Why didn't I put Pate on the original list? She got an Uggo house. Yeah, she's got a house that isn't in keeping with the theme. That's why she didn't make it. She's got the light blue house that's very much the colour of her face. And I don't know how many people decide, you know what I'm going to do with the outside of my house? I'm going to go into a B&Q or a Home Depot or whatever it is where you get your paint from, and go and get your skin colour matched to make some paint to paint the outside of your house. I want to know who is doing that. And I want to meet them if they are doing that, honestly. Because although it's a little weird, I also want to have a conversation about how and why you came to the decision to do that. Oh, are you ready, son? Oh, are you ready, kids? Aye, aye, Captain. I can't hear you. And this is basically what my brain is when I read things and see things. It's like association with other things. So he says, "Are you ready?" And I automatically think the SpongeBob theme. The brain works in mysterious ways. So I think for this stream I may get to about 50 and then maybe do another one tomorrow. Depending on how my voice holds up. If I wake up tomorrow and I can't talk, then obviously that's a different story. But that's the idea. That also means I need a thumbnail for tomorrow, so I might take a screenshot on one of these Islanders. Put this away for a second. Hi Wilbur. Welcome to the photo shoot. I like to be slightly turned in because I think it's more visually appealing. And then remove all of this nonsense. Oh no, I moved the character. That's not what I wanted. Haha, why are you like this? And just take a screenshot. That'll do. I might take some more another time, but not right now. We have Pinky. I don't even need to go over there to talk to Pinky. Pinky is a villager that I already know. There's also like pandas as well as penguins. But the only pandas in the game are Pinky, Chow and Chester. I think Chester is probably the cuter of the bunch, being the cub rather than bear. But he's got this odd expression on his face. And he's also another one of those villagers that continuously has their mouth open. So that's I don't know. Like, I like pandas, but none of them lived up to my expectations of what they were gonna be in this game. In fact, my first flag and one of the codes on my what do you call it, on my creator code was literally a panda's face with a purple background. That was my original flag for the island. It was a panda, and it is still available on my creative code, along with a couple of other things I've done since then. But it's a pretty cute panda, if you ask me. I know I'm biased, but still. I think think I actually have a command for that as well. I think it's CC. Create a code, maybe? Records! Dominator teacher yelled at me. Is it not CC? Yeah, it's definitely CC. Why does that not work? Or is it just gonna take the ever-living Mick? No, it's not Dina, it's Freckles. Freckles will not be coming home with us today, but Freckles is kind of cute. Had a look on the beach for the bottle. Even though it's bound to be nothing that I need. Yep, definitely don't need that. But that's okay. Because somebody might. Nightbot is on such a go slow today, but at least it's trying. I appreciate the effort nonetheless. Like, it is a little bit frustrating because it's one of those few things with the Nightbot that I can't fix. There's nothing I can do about that if it's on a go slow. Like, I know it can take up to a minute to process and spit out the outcome for a command. But I would like it to be a little bit more efficient than that, personally. Turn the paper. Have a bunch of notifications on Discord, which is always the way. The moment I go live, I'm there like absolutely swamped with stuff. I think a lot of these are just other live notifications and things, quite possibly. Some of them are, that's for sure. Interesting. Interesting. Rowan? In fact, did we already have? Yeah, we had Rowan. Rowan's the more orange one. What was the last one we had? Was Freckles. I didn't write her down. I don't know how you spell Freckles, but that'll do. I can read it, and that's the part that counts. So we know that the bottle isn't on that side of the... that was it. Now we check this side. Hiccups plus streaming does not make for a good time, so I hope that that's going to be one of very few. I also need to make food soon. Have dinner and wind down. Get ready for sleep time. I also have some washing that I put out to dry that I need to sort through. See what's drying and what's not. That I'd like to do before the end of today. Hi Sky! Welcome in, I hope you're doing well today. Apple Buddy is online. Time to take off. I think I should message Apple and see about dropping off the bells I owe. Or if the person in question even claimed the bells. But still, I offered bells, therefore I would like to pay those bells, even if it is a little late. Should start writing down who I owe bells to, honestly. There's the button. And the villager is ready again. That's only our second duplicate though. So this is yes, Wilbur. I wanna go home. I wanna fly. I don't know why, I just hummed like a little bit of Mary Had a Little Lamb. I blame my other YouTube consumption habits. Because I like to watch Captain Sparkles, or Jordan Brown as is his government name, I guess you're gonna call it. But on his, what's it called? Fallen Kingdom server and content that he does. He has a flute, a recorder, or what have you, and plays Mary Has a Little Lamb. And I was watching that the other day, and yep, apparently that stuck in my brain a little bit. Hi Brody, welcome in. I hope you're well today. Let's check these out. We'll do at least 4 more today. Pile of Zen cushions. Do I have this one? I do. And I definitely have the umbrella stand. I would like to fly, believe it or not. I can use that Nukmar ticket, if you don't mind. Tools packed already? Yep. All ready to go. Let's change that timer, at least the wording of it. Edit. There we go. Now I could go back to what I was doing. Okay, no button on this one. Let's see who we've got. Victoria, okay. That's somebody that I've seen before. Also not a villager that I am interested in, personally. I mean, she's a racehorse. So I suppose there is an island to fit every villager. Yep, well, let's go. Another ping. What's this ping? Okay. That's fine. Boom, 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 ba-da-dum. Using it tools already? Yep, yep. What would dodos do? Well, for a start, they wouldn't fly. Second of all, they would die out, apparently. What other things would dodos do? I don't know. I don't even know what kind of noise a dodo would have made. Oh, this is Pico. I think her name's Pico. I'm probably pronouncing that absolutely wrong. Might have to Google how to pronounce that, honestly. But if I do that, the sound of me listening to it's gonna come through on stream and I will get copyrighted for it. So that's gonna have to be done in my own time. Or in fact, no, not on this scene, it wouldn't be. On one of my other ones it would be, it'd come through. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's my multiplayer scene that you'd hear me listening to it. I would like to fly. Using up master kit. I think this will be my last one. Maybe? Possibly? I don't know. All I know is that we're nearing have done 50 No miles tickets this stream. No, I don't really make a good pace on these, especially because I'm actually kind of looking for the DIY bottles as well. But for good reason. Even though I don't need any of these DIYs, there may be one that I need. Oh, Eric is on the list. Okay. And we've got one less than 50. So we're gonna take Eric, which is perfect timing, honestly. Means as we were nearing the end anyway. There is not a bottle here. This is Money Rock Island, but I do not need the money. Hi, Eric. You can come and live with me. Can't wait. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Love it. Okay. So Eric is moving in with us. Do I? No, I don't take a picture with Eric. Okay, so tomorrow isn't going to be another hunt stream. But we'll see if there is something else that I feel like doing tomorrow. And obviously if somebody else asks to move out, then obviously we'll do another hunt stream and we'll probably use roughly the same list minus Eric, and I may, I don't know, change my mind on some of them, I guess. So that's a thing. So I can unpin this message now. And I can go and sort through my stuff. Go and confirm that the plot is sold. And pick up my ladder as well. Who was it? I believe it was Fauna. Fauna will be returning. And I'm probably going to shuffle the houses around a bit as well. Eric's new home. Perfect. Okay. Okay. I can see that there are some flowers that have spread that need addressing, but I'll probably do that in my own time. That is not the most interesting thing. I'm gonna slam these in storage. Oh dear. Oh, I'm sorry. I could not make it in time to mute for that one. That one snuck up on me like nobody's business. Excuse me. Oh, no, no, no. Drop it. Go in here and then drop them. I'm gonna run out of room for these. That's okay, because they're not staying here forever. Just where they are being held currently. Neatly out of the way. I intend on donating them to Jeffro at some point because he does his DIY class. I think that's the best place for them, being as I don't need them. And there are a couple of nice ones in there. Okay, so let's see. We don't have very many people here today, but that's alright. I appreciate everybody who has come by nonetheless. It just means that I don't think we will be doing a raid today. Though there are a few people online, including a couple of people that I wouldn't mind raiding at some point, but that's fine. It'll have to wait until another time. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you very much for 15 likes on the stream. Thank you very much to our new subscribers. I think we've gotten about 5 new subscribers. It's unfortunate that the way YouTube and Streamlabs OBS work with each other means that it's not coming up on my overlay, and I may need to look into that some more because it's currently not doing the alerts or anything for me. So I may need to look into how to fix that, because I know some people have been having some alerts come through. So we'll see about that, or maybe they're privated subscriptions. But I think we've had about 5 more subs during this stream, which is always good progress and appreciated. You know, all of the general spiel, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys all next time. Thank you very much for joining me. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are.